Just quickly before I go anywhere, I want to make a public service announcement that this speech might make you feel in the Christmas spirit, and it might give you a bit of childhood nostalgia. So, welcome to Nick Crest. What is Nick Crest? Well, that is a great question, Bully. Nick Crest is an open place, a place for everyone, a place of adventure, a place of fun, and best way to sum it up is like this. I want you to cast your minds back to when we were younger. It's the 24th of December, and your parents tell you to go to bed. Reluctantly, you go. But you're tossing and turning, waiting to hear for the pitter-patter of reindeer on the roof. Eventually, you fall asleep, and at the ass-crack of dawn, you wake up, run down, and under the tree are the presents. The cookies have been half-eaten, the carrots half-eaten, and the milk half-drunk. In my family, however, all the cookies were eaten, and none of the carrots. To which my dad would respond, well, Santa was hungry, but the reindeers were not. So as Tom mentioned, and as I'm sure you could have guessed, my name is Nick, but I also have many nicknames. Downsy, in relation to my surname Downs. Big Sexy, but that one hasn't caught on as well as I'd hoped. Goofy, because my brother said I was born and I looked like Goofy. And Manchild. And now Manchild has two reasons. One, I look the exact same now as I did when I was in grade 7, although a lot more hair and a lot skinnier then. And secondly, I'm a body of a man, but I have a heart like a child. So what does this mean? Well, quite simply, I adore Christmas. I don't know what it is about Christmas. Maybe after watching The Grinch for the 50th time, I started to realize what may it be. And it's quite simply being around friends and family and, of course, food. But more than that, it's about the book, How the Grinch Stole Christmas, by Dr. Seuss. And it's because of this quote. Maybe Christmas, he thought, doesn't come from a store. Maybe Christmas, perhaps, means a little bit more. And that's the real essence of why I love Christmas so much. And I know the person who writes my autobiography may say, well, the real reason is that your brothers ruined it at such a young age that you're overcompensating the older you get. And now they may have a point. But the difference here is that I'm not childish, nor am I immature. What I am is I have childlike whimsy and a heart of a kid. So when I did a bit of research to find out on some perspectives of people who may be smarter than me, which wasn't hard to find, all of it was incredibly negative. And it is referred to as the Peter Pan syndrome. Now, for those of you who don't know or might have forgotten, Peter Pan was some character living in Neverland, flying around, fighting pirates, having a best mate that was Tinkerbell, flying around, never growing up, and sometimes having the few adventures with those who were not born in Neverland. So the Peter Pan syndrome is something that affects people who are unable and unwilling to grow up. A body of a man, but a mind like a child. Does that remind you of anyone? So what I did with all this information was I collated it and I threw it away. And I start to wonder what it means to me to be a child or childlike. And I'm going to explain to you 3 lessons of what I've learned over my illustrious career of being someone who has a heart like a child. And hopefully at the end, I can get you to join me in this wackadoodle thing we call life. So the first lesson I'm going to go through is, I don't know if I mentioned but I love Christmas. But it just shows the endless capabilities of our imagination when we are kids. The fact that one man can fly around the world delivering presents to everyone, and then just on the Christmas spirit. And half of my life, I thought this was my nose and my thumb. And that just shows the imagination. At Red and Yellow, we've been really lucky to have endless amounts of people who come speak to us. And all of them say the same thing, that the industry is yet to corrupt us. And I think it's because when we join the job world, we end up focusing on someone else's vision. And we're scared to show our own imagination and the things that make us quirky. And I think places like Red and Yellow are taking that one step further, where it allows us to express who we want to be, allows us to express our imagination. The problem is when we go into the working world. So hopefully we can take some inspiration from the people who have done it correctly. For instance, Walt Disney. He did okay for himself. He created, through his own imagination, Mickey Mouse, Lion King, my favorite Mary Poppins. He didn't make, the studio made it. And so just the likes of that. And also Dr. Seuss and Roald Dahl and Dickens. So Dr. Seuss once said, I like nonsense, it wakes up the brain cells. Fantasy is necessary ingredient in living. And then, obviously, there's going to be a lot of quotes, so bear with me. But Roald Dahl said in the BFG, the matter with these human beings, he went on, is that they're absolutely refusing to believe in anything unless there's actually seeing it right in front of their own schnoozles. And I think that's a pertinent point to end lesson 1, imagination. So now when we embrace our inner child, our brains release dopamine and serotonin, and we instantly become happier. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but the reason I can say with such conviction is because of confidence. Now, confidence is something that I think I have in abundance. I'm not afraid to make a fool out of myself, hence why I left the goatee. But I think it's lacking in the world today. People are scared of judgment. People are scared of what people think, and I don't know if it's because of the rise of social media or we idealize celebrities. But, when we were younger, we would jump at the opportunity to speak in front of our friends. Now we have to take rescue just to be here. Well, some of us. But I mean, we wouldn't mind being a girl giraffe in an all-boys school. Trust me, I know. But confidence goes further. Confidence leads to success. And I'm not saying I'm going to be successful one day, but one can hope. But confidence allows us to believe in, to express what we believe in, to be confident in the things that we produce, and it allows us to have a winning mindset. I mean, you look at the real-life person, Jordan Belfort, from the movie Wolf of Wall Street. All he had was confidence, a product, and a lot of illegal trade, and he made a really good living for himself. Not probably a good explanation, but you get the point. So lesson 2 is confidence. Next, I want to know if anyone knows who wrote this. You have brains in your head, you have feet in your shoes, you can steer yourself in any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know, and you are the one who will decide where to go. Yeah, not William Shakespeare. It was Dr. Seuss. So this is my last lesson, and it's something that I got from my mom. It's authenticity. And authenticity is, what my mom would always tell me, is that children's books teach us more when we're adults than we were when we were younger. And she'd often read me these stories, and I'm like, Mom, please let me go to bed, I'm 23. But the point is that authenticity is really key. And as Dr. Seuss said, today you're you, and that's truer than true, and there's no one alive who is youer than you. And so what is authenticity? Authenticity is quite simply not false or copied, and it's genuine and it's real. So what this means is, we every single time we wake up, we need to be striving to be a more authentic self. And that might not be everyone's cup of tea, which is chilled. Let me just have a glass of water because I can feel my mouth very dry. Excuse me. So that's what it is. It's striving to be the person that you want to be. And, if you're ever in doubt later on in life, leaning onto the world, go to the deepest, darkest parts of the mall, also known as exclusive books, and pick up Dr. Seuss, Dickens, Dole, and read what they say. They all say the same thing. Be yourself. Do what you want. Go anywhere. And they're really empowering. And I think confidence and authenticity go hand in hand. If you don't have confidence to express who you want to be, you'll never truly be yourself. So going back to how eloquently I threw away all the other perspectives, I saw something brilliant on the Peter Pan syndrome. And it said, of course, who wouldn't want to be Peter Pan for a day? Fly around, have a few adventures, do some crazy things. And you compare that to being with Peter Pan's parents for a day. Yeah, I'll pass. So in this festive season, I want you all to join Nick Crest. Beef Holly, wear a Christmas jersey in the middle of November in Durban when it's 32 degrees. Sing Michael Bublé in the car. Do whatever. Be yourself. Be confident in who you are. And if anyone tells me to grow up again, my response is going to be quite simple. Thank you.